Okay, what's up, everybody? We're back to talk about Bad Batch episode 5. Probably we're going to be talking more about other stuff than episode 5, but we'll start with that like we always do. Um, you might have noticed I have a top right of the screen, I have a new good kid counter. That's from reference to uh, last week's episode, but I don't know if I'm going to explain it. I think I'm just going to leave it up there.
No, I think you should explain it. Why don't we start there? Let's start with explaining what is the good kid counter?
So last week I was complaining. We were complaining about certain things like tropes and things we see all the time in movies and TV shows. And the thing I was complaining to Josh about was the good kid. He's a good kid. That line in movies and TV, I feel like it like infests every single movie that has a kid in it. Um, and so Josh and I talked about it last Friday, I think, and then on by Sunday, I had seen that line happen in three different movies and TV shows that I was watching. So I was like, okay, I got to start a counter because this is just ridiculous. Like, so
Do you want to tell us what three things you saw that had in it, or we're gonna talk about that later?
uh, no, we'll talk about it now since we're talking about the counter, but we can talk about it more later. It was I was watching For All Mankind season 2, and that came up.
Okay.
And then Jupiter's Legacy, which
Yep.
you had
Yep.
recommended I watch. Yeah, it was in that too. And then I watched The Highwaymen on Netflix, and it
Oh,
was in that too.
interesting.
That one was slightly different because they kind of snuck it in there, um, but it was in there. So
Yeah. I mean, not to drag the discussion back to Show Don't Tell, but Jupiter's Legacy was one of those shows where they, I thought, did a little too much work at making each episode uh kind of like giving each episode a decent entry point for the viewer. So there was just like conversations that happened again and again. It's like, well, you two already had this conversation last episode, but when you zoom out and you understand, it's like, okay, well, they don't want something to happen that's not explained within the episode itself. But it was sometimes if you're binging it, it's a little cringe.
yeah, yeah. Um, and I feel like shows that are produced on Netflix know it's gonna be a binge show because I think
Mhm.
uh, aside from like some of their talk shows, I think Netflix is all drops everything on one day, right, on release date. So
Netflix, yes.
yeah, Netflix, yeah. So anyway, um, on to Bad Batch. Let's get my notes up here. Bad Batch episode 5 titled Rampage. Let me see. So basically, the setup for this new side quest for the guys is um, the first half is they're looking for somebody named Sid, and then Sid is going to help them get the intel they need, which is the identity of the bounty hunter that they encountered last episode, which we all know who it is, but the guys don't know.
Mhm.
So they have to go through some shenanigans to uh, get this person the MacGuffin that they want, so that she can tell them what they need to know. So yeah, basically they start off. They find Sid, and I was pleasantly surprised. I recognized the voice, Rhea Perlman. Um,
Oh,
haven't heard her in a long time. I've heard from her in a long time, so I was kind of pleasantly surprised that she was the voice of this. And yeah, she tells them they have to go rescue somebody named Muchi, and she'll give
Ochi.
them Mochi, and they'll give them
Yeah.
she'll give them the info they want. We find out that Sid was working with slash for Jabba by talking to Jabba's tentacle head dude. Uh, what was his name? I forgot what his name
Bib
was.
Fortuna.
Bib Fortuna. Yeah, yeah. What is his race called again? The tentacle head people?
But they're Twi'lek.
Twi'lek?
Yeah, or Twi'lek.
Twi'lek. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna forget that. Okay. Um,
You gotta watch Clone Wars, dude.
I mean, there were some of them on Mandalorian, and they were just weird too. Those guys are all weird. Um.
That's racist.
Oh, geez. Okay, fine. Literally racist. Yeah. Speciesist. I don't know.
Species, yeah.
So they end up going to try to rescue Muchi, and they found out Muchi is actually a Rancor monster, the same kind of monster that Luke fought in Return of the Jedi, right?
Say
Right? The Rancor monster is the same kind of
Yes.
monster that Luke fought in the beginning of Return of the Jedi. So
I believe it's the same. It's the same one.
well, that was going to be my question. Is that the same exact monster? He's just a little younger here.
Yeah, I mean, there's what, a 20-year gap, so plenty of time for him to grow older, and I highly doubt Jabba has more than one Rancor.
So for him to get older, stronger, scarier, probably crankier for mistreatment by Jabba.
Yeah, and I thought it was cool because Rancors have always been like a big bad in Star Wars, but if we're honest, if you watch Episode 6, it's like really unclear. Like he seems really slow and not dangerous in Episode 6, and kind of like Luke only is in trouble because of such an enclosed space. So I thought it was like awesome how Mochi just like wrecked everyone's faces. Rancors, they're from Dathomir. That's where the Night Sisters and Darth Maul and all them are from, the Zabraks. Uh,
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
and that's like one of the reasons why Dathomir is always like a dangerous place. And back when I used to play Star Wars Galaxies, and by the way, the game is still running if you know how to find it. Uh, Rancors were always one of the like most dangerous things that you could hunt apart from crate dragons. So in the last year, we've gotten crate dragons and Rancors, and we're really seeing like a lot of these Star Wars monsters being fleshed out. It's really cool.
Well, I don't think it's really cool. I think it's really sad, considering we know his fate and his likely treatment by the hands of Jabba. But okay, Josh.
He well, he experienced freedom for a brief moment, right? And he had a real connection with with Wrecker, you know?
With Wrecker, where they fought to like a stalemate, where they
Yes.
just like exhausted
He
each other. I thought that
exerted
was funny.
dominance.
They were just like, oh god.
Nice.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Um, so yeah, I mean that was basically the whole episode. Kind of like another side quest. They bring back Mochi to Sid, and she tells them who Fennec Shand is. And she does kind of like say like, oh, she's new to the scene, so she's probably like confirming, she's pretty young here versus in Mandalorian where she's a little more experienced, a little
Right.
more mature. Yeah.
That's because like you were asking about um that well, I guess that would be like 27 years later. Uh Mandalorian takes place. So the kind of a line to make sure we all know we understand how the timeline works.
Yep. Yep. Um, I kind of liked it that they were like they're making like these references and stuff. I didn't think that they were gonna do any of that, but I feel like every episode we're getting like a reference to like something from a different Star Wars property. A little reward for us hardcores.
Oh, for sure. Like not this episode, but the episode before on the planet they're on. Um there's there's Lothcats just like hanging out in the alley. Oh, you may not know what a Lothcat is. Anyway, even this episode, where they go to Ord Mantell was mentioned in the original trilogy, and it's I believe the first time we've seen it in like a live action or even an animated episode. So for sure, there's like all kinds of different little references here and there. there.
Okay, I recognize that planet name from Rebellion, the game.
Yep.
Yeah.
uh, and also, it was one of the levels in Shadows of the Empire.
Is that the RTS one or start?
No, Shadows of the Empire is it's like a 3D person shooter platformer featuring Dash Rendar, set between episodes 5 and 6.
Oh, okay.
So you might have played this on N64 or PlayStation.
I definitely did not. Um,
Yeah,
but okay, that's a throwback. That's older than I thought it was.
yeah, that's old school game. So yeah, it introduced the Prince Zizor of the Black Sun. Yeah, it really fleshed out some things that happens and like more things at part. It also like it was its own property. Like there was a novel, there was a game. Obviously, I think there might have been some other things going on. Probably some comics.
um, did you? What else did you like about this episode? Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I thought that like Omega's like uh predictably not
Omega.
following Omega, predictably not following directions and like saving their butts. Um, Another reference I was going to mention, but I guess I'll just mention now is the those green aliens that they rescued from the slavers. Those are Feline. Feline are the same species as Prince Zizor, who is in Legends at least the leader of the Black Sun, and uh, you know
Man,
a really
you
important
are
figure in
going
Legends.
deep into the lore here. Okay.
So yeah, like there's all kinds of little things like that. Like every species, it kind of adds a little bit. Even like Sid. Sid is a Trandoshan, I believe, and I don't think we ever really seen a Trandoshan like that. That's not like a bloodthirsty slaver. So and also the uh the slaver species, they were an important part of Clone Wars for several episodes. So it's interesting because like we know that from well, we know from legends that the Empire used slavery heavily, like most empires, uh, both in fiction and the real world. So I think it will be part of helping develop that like transition between the Republic and the Empire is like, well, what role do these slavers play in supplying slaves to the Empire if they do at all? And does that have anything to do with like, the development of like stormtroopers and stuff like that?
Okay. Interesting take, dude. Interesting take. Um, for some reason, the one question popping up in my head is kind of a tangent question, but when does a kingdom become an empire?
When is the king? Wait, what is it? Oh,
I don't know why that popped up into my head, but it's just like, uh,
yeah,
totally
I don't
not
know, dude.
relevant. I'm sorry. Totally not relevant. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I tried to help you out there, but
Yeah, I'm
failed.
sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. So yeah, that was basically Bad Batch episode 5. Not much to talk about. These episodes are a little bit shorter than like the Marvel stuff, so not a whole lot to go over, I guess. Which is totally fine. Josh and I, we can you and I could talk for hours.
We do talk for hours.
We do talk for hours. I kind of wanted to go over Jupiter's Legacy with you since that's like something that we
Yep.
have both seen recently and it's still pretty new. Um,
Yep.
yeah, I kind of binged this after we talked in like I think in like 2 days or something. It was yeah. I went through it really quickly and then um, I was kind of I thought it was good, but I like wasn't great. I don't know how you thought about it, how you felt about it. Um, the the twist at the end, I was like, okay.
Oh,
Uh.
you didn't like it?
I was like, okay, yeah. Well, I was like, of course, like, okay, well. I don't know. And then
Not surprised.
yeah, not surprised. And then I felt like the going to the island, the flashbacks, I thought that was like all of that was incredibly predictable. Um, maybe just seen too many movies or whatever. But what did you think of it overall?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Uh, I liked it a lot overall. I thought it hit a sweet spot. Like I said, it's like a little Watchmen-y, like alternate universe, rewriting history a little bit.
Yeah, a
Um,
little Watchmen-y, but not so like not as depressing. Yeah,
right. Yeah, so far.
so far.
It starts with a mystery, like what is this cloned with Dark Star, Black Star, Black Star. That like the heroes have to solve, and it turns out to be one of them. Spoilers.
But
So
it's not the one
I
that you think. Yeah.
yeah. So no, I think there's some really good acting. I think like the the struggles that not Paragon. What's the main character? Utopian. I think it's like his struggle to like adapt to the 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 popular ideas of the time kind of reflects like uh some of the how do we say like conversations or controversies we have in like American culture, whereas like people people are rejecting uh uh I want to say conservative ideas because conservatism in America means like something maybe wildly different than what it does in other contexts. But his thing is like, oh, this like code is like a moral code versus like what the younger generation in the show is like more practical. Like, well, like yeah, morals are cool, but actually, what we actually need is a more practical way of living where we can kill to defend ourselves and so on and so forth. And I think that like mirrors in some way the conversations happening in American politics today. Um, and so I thought it was like really relevant. I felt a different way to like portray it. Um, and yeah, I thought there were some good acting performances. I want to give a shout out to Matt Lanter. Uh, I'm not sure how familiar you are with his work, um, but Matt Lanter, do you know what else he's been in that we may have seen or
Oh, I actually looked. Yeah, Matt Lanter. I looked him up because he looks so familiar. So I do know one thing that he was in that I saw, but go ahead.
so Matt Lanter probably most famously, uh, I mean I don't know what else he did. He voiced Anakin Skywalker in Clone Wars,
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
also he was in The Mandalorian.
New Republic soldier,
So remember
Mandalorian
when they go on the prison ship?
with Bill Burr.
Yeah,
Okay,
the guy they kill. That's Matt Lanter.
that's it. Okay, okay. I recognize him
Um,
from Pitch Perfect 3. So,
oh,
uh,
got it. But yeah, I think like he had a great performance.
yeah,
Um,
totally. Yep. He was the
or
best
maybe
thing
this.
about the flashback stuff. Yeah,
Oh,
for
for
sure,
sure. I think
for
he
sure.
stood out. I think like the way they portrayed his decadence was really strong.
Yeah, the eggs.
The eggs,
That was
dude.
so creative. I was just like, I could never think of that in a million years if I was like a
Right.
trillionaire. Like, what the hell? Yeah.
And it's also like I thought it was a really good way to like demonstrate decadence for that time period. It's like, well, what could you really have that would be like out of reach of normal humans with like the technology of I guess like oh, what would we understand as decadence in 1929? And I think that's like a great they like hitting on the head. You have a cook that makes 100 eggs for you every morning so that you can have exactly one. Uh,
Um, have you watched The Crown?
no.
So there's like a scene in The Crown, season 2 or 3, where they're trying. Prince Charles is like about to be carted off to boarding school or something. And so they were trying to like demonstrate the same exact thing that he's like lived this life of privilege, and he's probably not gonna like boarding school is actually kind of like known for toughening people up and stuff.
Mhm.
So like he's like eating his breakfast and he's eating like an egg like how he was eating. You know how they have like a little holder for the egg and they like dip the
Yeah.
spoon in it and everything. And when I first saw that, I had never seen that before until I saw The Crown. I was like, oh man, that's so privileged. And then this scene comes on and I'm like, oh, he's got 100 of them. Holy crap. So
Yep.
yeah, he's like 100 times more
Yep.
privileged than Prince Charles. There you go.
Finally, we found someone. Um, so yeah, I thought it was cool. I thought uh costumes were pretty cool. I don't know, I thought it had a lot going for it. Um,
I
there's like
I had a little bit slightly different take on like the whole uh, utopian philosophy and the code and everything versus the younger generation.
yeah,
And I feel like because I think a lot of the like people are like, ah, oh, damn millennials now. I think it was kind of like talking about how like what used to work for the older like previous generations doesn't necessarily work for the younger people, new generations, like, and how not just like he's specifically talking about the code, right? But maybe just like how life
yeah,
is lived and your principles and how things are done nowadays. And of course, they take it to the extreme where a bunch of his son's friends are literally dying,
right.
trying to live the way that that Utopia's generation lived, and it's not necessarily working out, or it's definitely not working out.
Well,
So
no, I think we're saying the same thing. So like, for example, like if you were uh growing up in the 30s, the 40s, the 50s, 60s, whatever, how would you go out and get a job? You would just like go walk into a random office, introduce yourself with a firm handshake, and like just get hired on the spot. And like that was how you did it then. Versus like how you get a job now. You have to like have a social media presence and need to pay for like a resume and then like do all these things and then at the end of the day you might still just like not even get hired because you don't have the right reference or so on and so forth. And it's like
or you
you
try to
know,
do it like they did it and you get yourself arrested or served
exactly
with a
like
restraining order.
the days of just getting a job with a firm handshake and eye contact are gone. And it like even the way that you go about like developing yourself or developing like your what's the like developing your assets is like a lot of the conversation around the minimum wage are like this where it's like, oh well, when I was growing up in the 80s, like I worked minimum wage and I put myself through college and bought a house. And it's like that is no longer possible. Like that way of living and going about things does not work. And people are dying because they can't afford healthcare or they can't afford their mortgages or whatever. Like like the old school way of dealing with the coronavirus would just be to suck it up, right?
Suck it up.
And like here we are, half a million Americans, more than half a million Americans dead. And it's like, well, actually, maybe, maybe we need a
You
more
just need to
modern
suck it
approach to
up even
things.
more. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's your fault if you die to coronavirus, basically.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you bring that up. I always had this idea. I've been thinking about this idea for like a movie or something. Like they have all those movies with the body swap between like a parent and a child and stuff.
Yeah, Freaky Friday.
Yeah, like Freaky Friday and a bunch of ones before that. That was probably like the last big one. Um, so like, yeah, I was thinking like they should totally do that now. And they even have a title for it too. It's like where you have like this boomer parent and like this either a young millennial or an older Gen Zer like trying to go out in the real world and trying to make
Yeah.
make something of themselves, and then like they get
Yep,
body
yep, yep.
swapped, and
That's pretty
like
good.
all the boomer like just go in there and like introduce yourself and ask to speak to a recruiter or something and be like okay,
Yes.
okay, like you can't even do
Yeah,
that at like a
exactly.
McDonald's anymore. Like when I got my
No.
uh, first job was in a Papa John's, I did do that. But like you can't even do that now. Like and that was not even that long ago. So,
No.
yeah, and I even
I
have a
mean,
title for it too.
I mean, no, and there are exceptions. Like when I used to run a restaurant, like yeah, I would accept resumes from people who walked in and like I'm sure there were probably a few people actually did hire out of that, but like like you were not going to get rich off that job.
Yeah, yeah, and you're not going to put yourself through college with that job.
No. And then
And even
also
if you
like
do put
the
yourself through college, that's not going to get you a better job necessarily.
right, exactly. Like the old way of doing things, go to college, get a job, make money, retire. Now it's like go to college, be in crippling debt, transition to a different industry, start all over, end up just becoming a social media influencer. And
Social
then,
media influence.
I think like people our age just like unclear, are we gonna be able to retire? Like are we're just gonna keep working forever until we die, you know?
Well, I think you just got to work on your bikini body there, Josh. And
Yeah, I guess if I can't retire, it's my
yeah,
fault, right?
just make those ads in your bikinis, and then like
I
keep showing
just
your ass. Yeah.
just need to wake up earlier and do more squats,
Yep.
have
Yep.
more avocado toast.
Yep. Yep. Yeah.
So anyway,
Do you want to
even
hear?
like
Oh, go ahead.
the way we fight wars, right? Like in Utopian's generation, it was like go fight and kill the Nazis because that's the right and moral thing to do. Now it's like go invade other countries because we need their oil.
Well, that's an interesting point you bring that up, since because like in the old days, you declare war on like countries, and you fight each other's armies, and the enemy is clear, and then when you win, it's clear, and, and then when somebody loses, it's very clear. And then like
Surrender, right?
yeah, they surrender, and then you're good. But like and you're fighting other militaries. You're not necessarily fighting like the civilian population. So like now it's just like,
Um,
I don't know. Like
I don't
so
know about that. I think uh no, I think like Total War. Well, speaking of Total War, like that game series, the phrase Total War comes from waging war not only on the military but on the civilians. So I think soldiers have been raping and pillaging for millennia, but
yeah. Okay, well, I think more to my point is like there's a clear cut. Well, there's two things in what I was saying. The first is that you don't declare war on people anymore. Nobody's declared war in the last 70 years. You just go do it. Um,
you declare a police action.
yeah, or yeah, it just shows up on the news. Uh, like for like well, specifically for the United States, to be in a state of war officially, Congress has to declare war. But good luck getting
Yes.
Congress to like agree on anything nowadays, let alone declaring war. So second of all, like okay, to that point, that first point, that hasn't been done since World War II. Second of all, it like your enemy is very like unclear nowadays. Like, going to war with Afghanistan. Were we going to war with like specifically the Taliban government, Al Qaeda, or like who or what or ISIS? Or ISIS wasn't around back then, but now it's around now, and that's like a result of. It's just kind of like been snowballing, and now you have ISIS because of that stuff back then. So it's like there's no clear enemy, and it's all like clandestine operations now too. Like versus, World War II. It's like, oh, the Nazis, we got to go after them. We got to like get rid of all their influence, defeat the military, take Hitler out. It's like boom, boom, boom. And then when Hitler was gone, we like helped them rebuild their country, and everything worked out to be great. And Germany is like a thriving nation now. It's like the economic powerhouse of Europe. But like, you can't just declare war on countries anymore because it just doesn't work that way. So like,
Well, they would nuke each other is the problem.
yeah, they would nuke each other. Yeah, yeah. So like everything like the even like from the Cold War, stuff has like gone even less, like more cold than the Cold War. Like,
Well, now we hack each other. That's the new frontier.
that, yeah. So but it like makes everything less clear, and we originally started talking about this because this was like Utopia's vision. Utopia's generation is like go defeat the Nazis and then we're done,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
I mean that is the way the world's going too. There's a lot of things that are less clear now. So,
for sure. So what else did you think about it, the show?
um, I really liked the action. I thought the fighting was really good.
Hmm.
Um, the end of that first episode with Darkstar, that fight, I was like, oh, I was on the edge of my seat because I felt like anybody could actually die at that point, and a lot of characters did die that we didn't actually even get introduced to. Right? They were just,
Yeah, barely. Yeah.
yeah, just like friends of the sun or just part of the younger generation. So yeah, I thought that was really cool. I missed a few things in it. Um, Now you're gonna have to help me out because the character names I did not remember a lot of the character names.
Mhm.
Um, there was the one guy that Chloe was hanging out with. Uh,
The Time Stopper dude.
the guy with the is he a time stopper? The guy with the baton or whatever the
Oh yeah, yeah. Hutch.
Hutch. Yeah. Okay. So for like the first 9 episodes, I thought he was Matt Lanter's son. What is Matt
He
Lanter's
is.
character?
Yeah, he
No,
is.
he's the other guy's son.
No, he's George's son.
Oh, is that why he's called Hutch? But like,
Oh yes, that's why he's called Hutch. That's his
but
son.
like, I thought in the okay, so in the final episode or the final scene of the flashback scenes, the other
Yeah,
guy got the baton thing.
right.
Okay, so you're saying
The
Hutch got it from
doctor.
the other guy? Yeah, the doctor dude that we kind of don't know a lot about him because he was the last of the old generation to be introduced. They got him. He was stranded at sea, right? And they picked
Yeah.
him up.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So
so he's not that guy's son. He is
yeah.
Matt Lanter's son. Okay.
So I interpreted that as at some point George kills that other guy and takes his baton. And
Oh,
that's how Hutch ends up with it.
so maybe that's like happened when he flipped or turned to the dark side or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
When
Um,
he killed he killed not just the men, but the women and the children too.
he killed the younglings.
He killed them all.
I won't believe it.
It's the same character, it's the same actor.
Um, what was I gonna say? The okay, I need to like collect. I have no notes on this. I should have made some notes
For Jupiter's Legacy.
for Jupiter's Legacy. Yeah. So like, okay, let's talk about the final twist there. So like, the
Yeah.
Brainwave.
Is that what he calls himself?
his hero name is Brainwave. Walter, the brother,
Walt. Yeah.
Utopia's
I
brother.
I laugh whenever I hear Walt because I just think of Breaking Bad.
Who's
Walt.
Oh, Walter White. Okay. I had a brain fart there. I was like, what?
Who was Walt?
Who's
Where is
Walt?
he from?
I kept thinking Heisenberg.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Interesting. So that's like how you know him
Yeah.
is by his gangster name.
Yeah, by his gangster name. Oh, interesting. This guy is okay. That's where I saw him. This guy's on The Crown too.
Oh yeah. You watch a lot of shows that I don't.
Yeah. Um, I watch a lot of I don't know, shows that are maybe not targeted towards my demographic sometimes. I think The Crown being one of them.
Probably.
The
Probably.
Bachelor being another one.
No, I don't think that's targeted towards young adult men. But
Um,
hey, do you enjoy it?
Okay, let's talk about the twist there. So So we find out at the end that spoiler alert if you haven't seen the final episode of Jupiter's Legacy, but we find out at the end this is all orchestrated by the brother, uh, Walter Brainwave. Um,
Yep.
and so like, what is his game plan here? I didn't like. Okay, why is he doing this again?
He wants to become leader of the heroes and like rule the world.
Okay, so we just got like a generic. We don't have like any specific, nuanced reasons why he's doing this. Then, is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying to me?
Well, I mean, um,
I have
you
to.
gotta remember. You gotta remember, this is the same guy who, uh, he's the same guy who predicted the Great Depression, and no one listened to him. And then, you know, he wasn't on the roof when his dad died. And then, whatever happened with the hero who betrayed them, that might have played something into it. So I feel like there's some baggage going on here, and he's just kind of sick of Utopian's way of dealing with things, and he's like, I got to do this myself. If that
Okay,
means he has to murder his own daughter.
okay. Before
uh,
I respond to that, I have to give a shout out to Matthew, clone of my twin. He asked that we say his name, so it's, hi Matthew. He has seen The Bachelor, and it wasn't his cup of tea.
which
Uh,
one though?
which which Bachelor?
Yeah,
Yeah, which of the 24 seasons?
yeah, exactly. Narrow it down, bro.
Yeah, narrow it down, Matthew. I don't even know if he's still listening.
He's probably gone. So
So
yeah, I mean,
I
I think we'll learn more about his motivations, but I I I uh I get the impression that he's just tired of people not listening to him.
okay. So what triggered that? Because he's had basically 90 years to like do something about it. Uh, he could have done it like 50 years ago. He could have done it 20 years ago. He could have done it 70 years ago before uh, what's his face even betrayed them. Like what? Why? Uh, like why now? Is my question. It doesn't
Yeah.
really. It's just kind of like and it seems like he's been planning this for a long time. So I guess he's been like trying to do this, but I don't know. Like
Um, yeah, well, the answer to why now is because that's because the story is set in the present.
okay,
It's
okay.
kind of a dumb answer, but um,
That's the
yeah,
out of
I don't know.
universe answer. I'm asking for the in universe answer.
Yeah, I don't know. I I think that we're gonna get to see more of it. We're gonna get to see more of his disgruntledness, and we maybe have just a glimpse into it for right now.
Okay, so probably next season they're still going to keep up with the flashbacks and maybe you get a
Oh
little bit
yeah,
more of
there.
his why he's jaded and his frustrated his yeah why he's so frustrated probably.
Yep, not we're not done with those. Not quite
I
yet.
had another question for you, and then before you give me your like answer or whatever, I'm going to give you like why what I think happened. My question is, how did all the supervillains get their powers?
Oh,
Um,
the people on the pirate ship.
okay, that's what I was going to say. Like,
Yeah.
so like but like, does that mean they get like they got a smaller dose of it, or um, like what's going on there? And then also like the people on the pirate ship, like, did they all just go their separate ways and they ended up like having descendants, and then all these descendants are the supervillains? Like, is that what's going on? Like,
Not
yeah.
sure. I think I hope they address that because um it's like, okay, this mysterious force on Jupiter or on Jupiter's moon, right, gives them powers, and like also but like also created the supervillains, and it's like, you know what? Maybe we didn't need the powers if you weren't also going to make the supervillains, right? It's like what's really going on here? Mysterious force from Jupiter's moon.
Yeah, like why? Yeah, it's like if you're gonna give it to them, why give the other people powers? I don't know. Give like to
Yeah.
give them more challenges. I don't know.
I, that's really dark, man.
Because like a lot, like I don't think we saw like a supervillain that was old like them. Like all the supervillains seem to be relatively young, younger than they are. Um,
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess the big bad is like Darkstar or whatever. Like he seems to be older.
I guess yeah, his age is kind of ambiguous.
Yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it does seem like there are more supervillains than heroes, right? Otherwise, there wouldn't be much for them to do.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. It
And it seems like there are more. It seems like people have received like powers outside of just like uh them being direct descendants of the heroes. So it's like it seems like people are just randomly getting powers. That's the best I can do with that.
okay. So maybe it's just like a like a quote unquote regular comic book world where people are getting powers all the time.
I guess so. Yeah, that's my guess.
Okay. All right. Okay. I'm kind of satisfied. This I actually kind of want to. I'm thinking about maybe reading the comics on this one, so this one might be worth it. I don't know if
Yep,
they're not too
he's
long.
a he's a good writer, that Mark Miller character person.
Yeah. Um. There's a lot of comic book writers named last name Miller, aren't there? Or, no, maybe there's one other
Uh,
one.
Miller, not sure. This one is spelled Millar.
Oh, okay. Like
If
Frank
you're,
Miller, isn't he?
oh yeah, Frank Miller. Well, Frank Miller, I guess I know him more as an artist, but yes, he is also a very influential writer.
Okay. Do you want to move on to trending up and down?
Um, Before we do that,
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about some other stuff I've been watching.
Okay.
So I'll just do the quick ones first. I've been watching Kuroko no Basket, or also known as Kuroko's Basketball, which is a basketball anime on Netflix.
This sounds.
So
This sounds. I can already. I don't know what it is, but I can already picture like what it looks like. Go ahead. Hello. Josh. Hello. Technical difficulties. Seems I still have internet. Am I still up? I'm still connected to Twitch. Oh, Discord itself might be dropping. Well, that's really unfortunate. Hello? 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 Hi, can you hear me? Can anybody hear me? Hello, 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 hello. Okay, so it is Discord. Everybody
Hello,
can
can you
hear
hear
me.
me now?
Oh, I can hear you now. Hello? Yep.
Perfect, perfect.
Oh, what was that?
I don't know, dude. Even our direct voice call was not working.
Yeah. And then it just started working all of a sudden.
Super bizarre. Anyway, um, Kuroko's Basketball. Uh, it's an anime about high school basketball in Japan,
Okay.
and uh, the storyline for the first season is that there is a group of five or six players from one middle school in Japan who are like super amazing. They're known as the Generation of Miracles. But now they've gone to high school and they all split up into different schools. So it's like about, yeah, it's anime basketball. It's what you would think. They've got like special moves and special powers.
I could totally see it. Like, and then like they do like super dramatic things on the court and stuff.
Yeah, and like so like typically in a real basketball game, like plays are happening like within a second. But of course, and because it's anime, they have like full conversations while in midair.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So super good. I'm on season two already. Short episodes, really good. I've also finished Startup. Um, and yeah, so maybe one of the best examples of, I know you haven't seen it, I'll just tell you, one of the best examples of characters doing stupid things just to progress the plot, because otherwise they would just be like successful and sail off into the sunset. So they ended season three on like a really stupid decision that created a lot of drama, and that's how it ended, like on a quasi cliffhanger. And there's no it just got onto Netflix. It was previously a Crackle or I think it's Crackle show.
Hmm.
But if they never make season four, that would be really tragic, I think. There's no closure.
Oh, that's kind of disheartening to hear. Okay.
Yeah. So and then finally, just tonight, uh my wife and we sat down to watch something. We were about to watch Tenet. And then I told her it's a 2.5 hour movie made by the creator of Inception, and she's like, "Nope, nope, we're not going to do that." Instead, we watched New Mutants. So,
That is hilarious. Okay, go ahead.
do you want to go first on New Mutants, or should I?
No, no, no. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go. What'd you think of
So,
it?
I liked it. I thought they had great casting. I thought like they really, I don't know if they nail the characters in the sense of being true to what they are in the comics. I don't think that's what they're going for, but I thought like they were, I don't know, they did a really good job. It was a really short movie. It's only 90 minutes, but they did a really good job of like developing characters, and you feel like you get to know each of them and unique things about them. Um, the CGI was not bad. Like you know, I don't like the horror genre, and it was like kind of the horror genre, but not really like a jump scare show. So it was like in that I was able to handle like those aspects of it. And yeah, I thought it was pretty cool.
Um, you're probably the first person I talked to that thinks it was like has a positive look on it. But you're also, I think, the first person I've talked to about it at all because everybody I know has not
Nobody
seen
saw
it. Yeah, nobody
it.
watched this movie. So, um, that's interesting. I liked the individual actors, like what they did, like Maisie
Hmm.
Williams, Anya Taylor Joy, um, the other guy you were talking about. What was his real name? The Stranger Things guy.
Charlie Heaton.
Yeah, Charlie Heaton. Yeah, they like individually. I think they all did a good job. I just felt like overall as a movie, I think I was burdened by the fact that this was like a what I called like a lame duck movie for the franchise. Um, Plus the fact that it got delayed like 18 bazillion times. Um, so it just felt kind of, I don't know, disjointed and awkward for me. And then I'm also not a big fan of like the horror-y type aspects of it. I only like certain horror movies, I guess. I don't know. So, um,
Well, that's interesting. I want to challenge you on that. So you didn't like it because you felt we're never going to see these characters again? Is that kind of what you're saying?
yeah, kind of, because I felt like they had a plan, but then they kind of had to like, oh well, we're not going to do that anymore because Fox got sold to Disney, and they're going to drop all that stuff. So, uh,
Okay, but I mean, within the story, there's no reason why we're not going to see those characters again, right? They could make New Mutants too.
sure, sure,
They didn't kill anybody off.
sure.
As a matter of fact, I don't know if you call it like the villain, um, but there is absolutely a way to use that villain and to make like a I guess we could call it a spin-off
So,
series.
so you're talking about Sinister, or
Yes.
okay? So like, I know that he's supposed to be the boss of whatever her name was,
Yeah, she's
Alice
dead now.
Braga.
So
Yeah. Um, and they had already like teased him in like one of the button scenes for one of the Wolverine movies or something,
yeah,
right? Or the X-Men
yep.
movies. And like, so like, yeah, I'm just like, I guess I'm spoiled by like MCU shared universes because it's just like, oh, they never got to do anything with it. Well, I mean, they could, but all everything now is pointing to like, okay, they're probably gonna drop the X-Men universe except for like Deadpool, you know. So like, I don't
It's
know.
always funny. Like I do not think of Deadpool as a next person ever, but
I
um,
mean, he kind of is and he kind of isn't at this point, but yeah, at least in
it's like
the movie universe.
right, right. So yeah, I don't know. I keep hearing this. I hear it about DC movies. I hear it about the X-Men series. I hear it about stuff. It's like, oh, but it's no Marvel. Well, guess what, guys? There's only one Marvel. And in a matter of fact, in the history of all movie making, nobody can show me something quite like what we have with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where we have so many different blockbuster uh, movies and shows and all these A list and B plus list actors and actresses coming together in a way that's coherently weaved together. It's like, you know what? Yeah, DC totally failed at their Snyderverse. And this whole X-Men thing, I guess Dark Phoenix sucked that we haven't seen it ever. Whatever. They might reboot the whole thing. Guess what? That happens in almost every other property and every other like large IP ever. That's just what they do.
Where
Like
they tease something at the end, but then does horribly, so they don't pick it up again.
I mean, what could we even compare it to? Like what other properties are out there that have like these totally different titles that are interweaved? Like you and I had so much trouble defining a shared universe. Part of the problem is there's really not that many examples, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So like DC and Sony, they keep getting hit with, oh, well, it sucks because it's not MCU. Well, I'm sorry, like I'm sorry they couldn't replicate like one of the most amazing achievements in cinematic history. So that's all to say.
Well,
I
I mean,
thought,
I said like, yeah, maybe I'm kind of spoiled by the MCU, you know. So
yeah, I mean, if we want to nitpick, like there are definitely plot threads in the MCU that have gone nowhere. Like uh what was up with the Mandarin in what was that, Iron Man 3 or 2?
Iron Man 3, yeah.
Like what happened there? Like was like did they really just butcher one of the greatest villains in Marvel Comics, or is he going to be the villain for Shang-Chi? Like what's up with that?
Okay, well, interesting you bring that up because like Shang-Chi's been in the news a lot in the last week or so, right? Uh,
Right.
so like I'm wondering on the character of the Mandarin if Shang-Chi's dad is in the comics. Shang-Chi's dad is supposed to be the Mandarin, right?
Oh, I didn't know that. Could
Okay,
be.
okay. So I read that his dad is supposed to be the Mandarin, so he's the Mandarin's son, and like what I got from the trailer and what little bit I read online, I'm thinking in the comics he like doesn't want to follow in his dad's footsteps, and that's basically kind of what they hinted at in this trailer here. But I don't know if they're actually going to officially call him the Mandarin, um, because uh, Disney loves money from a certain country that I won't name.
Interesting.
So like, uh, I, and since they already like called the Mandarin was Guy Ritchie in Iron Man 3, maybe they won't. Maybe they'll just make something up, or they won't even give him a name. They'll just have his dad just be this bad guy or whatever.
So like yeah, they do this right. Like they have functionally the same character, but they never call him by their traditional name because it's corny or whatever. Uh, but and like look, Mandarin is more typically known as a an Iron Man villain, which is why like he was in Iron Man 3. Uh, so like that's all cool, but I hope nobody well me and I guess Iron Man 3 is not one of among the most beloved shows. So maybe that's like maybe that's like a real thing is people are like, "Oh, well, I didn't get a satisfying conclusion on the Mandarin, so I do not like Iron Man 3." It's like, "Okay, guys, if that's really what we're if that's your criteria, then sure, yes, all these movies suck, but I think there's value in them that goes beyond that."
Um, I just gotta say for Iron Man 3, the Ben Kingsley Mandarin twist, my parents like loved it. They were they're like, that was
It was
hilarious because Ben Kingsley, parents' generation, like one of the biggest actors ever. They were like, Ben Kingsley, he was hilarious.
yeah.
Yeah. So
No, for sure. And he acted that perfectly.
yeah.
Um, also like the time period when he came out, like the whole like terrorism angle to it, like the Mandarin is a terrorist and like he's got this like imagery that we're all like watching on CNN 24/7. So I thought it was uh I liked Iron Man 3. Although speaking of hanging plot threads, so whatever happened to Pepper Potts and like her extremists or whatever, it was did they ever explain that on screen? No. Are we
Um, shit, I can't. I think something happened off screen. I remember somebody saying like there's like a tie-in comic book or something.
Yeah, so like
Yeah.
I hope I assure you nobody watched Endgame and was like, how come she's on screen? Why didn't she use her extremists? Why does it's like come on guys. Like it's just it's really not a big deal, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's my way of saying we should not look down on New Mutants just because these characters may get killed off screen. Enjoy it while it lasts.
Okay. All right. Fine. Fine, Josh. Fine.
Yeah, it is fine.
I should watch Iron Man 3 again. That's probably like the one MCU movie I haven't seen a lot. Like I've seen the least.
Yeah, and they've got that little he's a little boy in that movie, and then he shows up at Tony's
At
funeral.
his funeral, everybody's like, "Who's that guy?" Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still holding still holding out hope for him that he takes on the mantle or does something.
You don't think it's gonna be Ironheart?
Well, you can have both, right? Like, um, good example is Superman. When Superman died, there were four Supermans after, and obviously like one was the real Superman, but like, uh, that was a really exciting time in comics. There were four different Superman comic books you had to buy, and like one came out every like
That was a really
frequently.
exciting time in comics. I had to spend 4 times as much money to follow the Superman storyline.
Well, yeah. I mean, yes, exactly. And but it was worth it, right? You had to figure out which was the real Superman, and like you would argue with your friends that who is it? Obviously, like some were more likely than others. But that's like the kind of buzz we have around MCU, right? It's like, oh, well, what's gonna happen? Whose character is like blah blah blah. Um,
Well, I mean, if you ask me, like, nobody's Iron Man but Tony Stark. Simple as that. There can be like
oh, whoa, hold on a second. Whoa, whoa,
copycats,
whoa.
but
Hold on a second. So, are you saying Sam Wilson is not Captain America?
no, that's different. That's
Oh, it's
different.
why is it different?
Uh, I don't know, because Captain America can be like a title passed on. It feels like it's
Okay,
like Bruce Wayne
how
and
many?
Batman. Nobody can be Batman but Bruce Wayne. You know,
What?
he can have
It's-
uh what do you call it? Peoples and disciples like Nightwing and Robin
But
and stuff.
you do know that Dick Grayson has been Batman, like I don't know, several times, but he has been Batman.
Has not happened. Won't happen. Nope, doesn't happen.
What do you mean?
Fake
It
news.
happens.
Fake
It's
news. Fake news, Josh. Fake news.
See, that's the awesome thing about printed media is it's just there. You can go read it whenever you want. Also, like, what is your opinion of Batman Beyond? Is it not real Batman because it's Terry McGinnis and not Bruce Wayne?
Yep. Yep. I stick by it. Yep. Yep.
But Captain America is different.
Captain America's different.
Why? Because it's tied to a nation.
Yep. And he's a symbol, and Steve Rogers chose to pass it on.
Okay, like, wow. Okay, that's kind of a hot take. But
I'm only half serious here, but like, okay, I don't read all the comics like you, but like within the MCU, that is a valid point. I think is Steve chose to pass it on. You know, he picked Sam as his successor. Tony, well, maybe if he had lived a little longer, maybe he would have chose to pass it on, but he just died, right? So like, it's kind of like, you know, it it would have been different. It would be like if you had like a scene with that teenage boy or whatever his name is. You could be like, you know, one day.
like, I feel like that kind of happened in Iron Man 3 where they like connected over
Just because they
technology.
connect doesn't mean that he's like, hey, one day I hope you could take up the mantle or something. You know,
Okay, let me
obviously,
ask you this.
or
How
and
many
if I were Tony Stark, he'd probably want Morgan to do it, right? Like,
Let me ask you this. How many years did Steve actually know Sam? I think they have
uh,
like some deep, long relationship.
well, yeah, like probably like 70 plus like 7, so like 77 years.
No, no, Steve and Sam?
Yeah, because because he
Oh my
he
God.
waited
No,
70 years to give it to him.
that's wow. We have reached the bottom, the low point of this podcast.
So it's like 2014, I think, was Winter Soldier, and Endgame takes place in 2023. So okay, 9 years plus
He was dead
19.
for five of them.
Well, Sam was dead for 5 of them. So, but
Yes.
that means Sam. No, but see, he knew Sam for 9 years. Yeah.
No,
Did
that
Sam know
doesn't.
Steve for 9 years? No, it's probably
That
4. But
that's not at all how you count relationships. But okay,
okay,
let's.
so okay, hold on. If I died tomorrow and 5 years later, and then in 2026 somebody asks you how long have you known Ryan? Okay, and you would say, well, I knew him for blah blah blah. Okay, never mind.
No, I wouldn't. I would be like, well, I've met him in such and such year, and we have been out of touch. Like a lot. A question I get a lot is, like, how long have you been playing bass, like bass guitar? Um, and the truth is, I've been playing since I was 17, so I can say like, yeah, I've been playing for how old am I now? I guess if you count the way you're counting, I've been playing for 15 years.
Yeah,
The
man,
reality is
15
like
years.
the reality is like maybe like there was a year or two in there where I didn't play at all. But I don't like to answer that question. I say, well, I started when I was 17. I don't say I've been playing for 15 years because that's not true.
Okay, so let me ask you this then. Let's
Okay.
say next year, Jedi come and take your son away to go train at the Jedi Temple. You don't see him for 10 years. Somebody says, how long have you known your son? You say, well, do you say
2
2
years.
years? 2 years?
Yes,
Or do you say
2
12
years.
years? Nah. Mm, mm.
I've never heard of this way of counting that you are counting. Like yeah, sometimes you say like, oh, I've known somebody for 40 years, and like obviously you were not talking every single day, but like come on. Come on,
I'm just trolling. I'm sorry.
giant troll,
Just keep going.
horrible troll. Anyway, New Mutants, I liked it. It had good characters, had a good plot line, set things up for the future, even though it may not happen. It's not the fault of that movie. I liked it.
Look at this. We have somebody in the channel. I think it's a bot though, called Troll Wild. See, that's what's causing me to troll you.
Trowels.
Trolled.
Well, a trowel is like a shovel, but I don't know if that's what it's referring to.
I don't know. It's a picture of Shrek. Actually, I think this is
Yeah.
a real person. I don't think this is a bot.
Well, Shrek is
Anyway,
an ogre. Shrek is not a troll.
it's true. But I'm
Who
sure
knows?
any picture of Shrek is better than a picture of a troll. Or actually, no. Ogres and trolls, same thing.
Ogres are not what? Ogres are not trolls.
Oh, I thought you were gonna call me out for being racist again.
Well, I anyway, let's move on.
Okay,
I'm not
what
gonna,
else? What else are you watching, Josh? What else have you been watching?
well, I'm gonna keep watching Kuroko no Basket. I'm gonna try to catch Tenet this week. And maybe some other stuff.
Have
Um,
I thought we talked about Tenet? Have you not seen it?
I have not seen it.
Oh,
Maybe we talked about
you
Inception.
asked me what I thought about it, though. I think, right? Like,
Yeah, I did.
okay,
I did.
okay. All
So
right.
I going in with my eyes open.
Okay. All right. Well, we can talk about that next week then. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Uh,
So what was I gonna say? So I want to go right into trending up now, since we talked a little bit about my trending up, which is Charlie Heaton.
okay.
So Charlie Heaton, probably most famous for Stranger Things, which is the most successful Netflix show of all time.
Oh, is it? Is it?
I don't know. Is it? I pose the question to you.
Oh, I don't know. Probably top 10 for sure. I don't know.
So, uh, I mean, when we think about all the direct to Netflix uh shows, right? Um, I don't see I don't see people wearing like Bridgerton shirts, for example, right?
Oh man, I should totally get one though.
But everyone's got what's the name of the high school? They've got the gear. I feel like Stranger Things has made an impact on our pop culture that uh the other stuff that Netflix original has come out with have not. So I think I'm just gonna say it's the most successful Netflix show on the most successful platform, and he's a star in it. And also, obviously, he was in New Mutants, which I thought was great. So Charlie Heaton trending up.
Okay. I agree. Charlie Heaton, great guy, great actor. He's probably at the beginning of his career, so we, don't have a lot to judge him on yet. I just want to say I just looked it up right now, and Stranger Things season 3 is the fifth most popular or fifth most watched season of a Netflix original on Netflix.
Well, what's above it?
Take a guess.
I already said Bridgerton. Is that accurate?
Yes. Bridgerton is number one with 80 something million.
All right, I'm cheating a little bit. The Witcher,
Yep. Number two. Yep. 76 million.
Lupin.
No, I don't even think that's on the top 10.
Money Heist.
Yes. No, that's number three. Money Heist season 4 specifically. I haven't
And
seen a
maybe
single episode of this show.
Tiger King.
Yeah, it was tied. Stranger Things was tied with Tiger King for fourth and fifth place.
So I'm gonna discount Tiger King because it's not.
It's not scripted programming.
It's a different genre. So
Mhm.
like, congrats to Tiger King, but not apples and oranges. Um, The Witcher. That's for like adults, right? Like,
Yeah. I think there's nudity. Yeah,
you think there's nudity? There's a lot of nudity, dude.
I can't remember. Okay, there's a lot of nudity and it's definitely a lot of violence. So yeah, for sure,
I
adults.
I am going to just arbitrarily bump Stranger Things ahead of that because it has more mainstream appeal.
Okay.
Even though the numbers are obviously like um say something otherwise. I don't care.
Okay.
What
Well, I've
it's
never seen. I don't know. I haven't seen anybody with any Netflix shirts like a Witcher, Bridgerton, or Stranger Things.
oh, I see uh what's the name of the high school?
I
The
have no idea. They're not even in
in
high
Stranger
school.
Things.
They're in
No,
middle school
the na well the older two
or the
siblings
older
are
two. Okay,
what's it called? The Hawkins High School. I see people with Hawkins High School gear all the time.
that's crazy. I haven't seen
Yeah.
a single, but I don't go out a lot, so I don't know.
You haven't gone out in a year, dude.
Dude, I just went out to see a movie today. First time since
Oh, what did you
yeah,
see?
Quiet Place 2.
Oh, in the theaters too.
In the theaters at this brand new theater that just opened near where I live.
What
Um,
did you think?
well, the theater itself was awesome, but the movie was pretty good too.
Well, cool, cool. Yeah,
um,
so it's a prequel, right?
uh, yes and no. The intro is a prequel, but then after that, it's a
Mm,
sequel.
yeah, I haven't seen one or two, so
Um, yeah, it's like pretty much picks the story up exactly where they left off in the last movie. So, and
interesting.
yeah, I'm not gonna spoil anything because I know you haven't seen either. Um,
Yeah, I'm curious, just like you know what it reminds me of is what's that one where they couldn't look? Bird Box?
Bird Box, yeah.
Reminds me of Bird
Let's
Box.
do the Bird Box challenge, Josh. Let's drive to downtown uh, with
What?
our windshield blocked and our eyes closed. That was the thing, right?
Are you serious?
That
People
was a
did
thing on
this?
social media. There was like, and then like Netflix had to come out with like an official statement saying, "Please do not do the Bird Box challenge."
Interesting.
Just like a bunch
Wow.
of dumb kids. Yeah.
That's that's really quite toxic, actually.
Yep. Yep. Bunch of dumb kids. Yeah, it's similar to that. Um, they I like the way I'm gonna go back to like the first movie. It's like I like the way they did certain things like and how much do you know about the premise? Like,
There's like these aliens that hunt them down and they hunt by hearing, so they have to stay quiet.
okay, yeah. So like I'm just gonna spoil a little spoiler is that the oldest daughter, is deaf, so they have like an advantage as a family because they all know sign language.
Mm,
Um, so like I liked like how you don't see a lot of that in movies, and obviously I don't know any deaf people, so um,
what do you mean, obviously? How
no,
would
no,
we know that?
no. I mean, obvious. Okay, no. I obviously was part of the previous sentence. Sorry. Um, uh, obviously, I don't know any deaf people, Josh. Jeez, just like obviously, I don't know any. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I don't know any aliens that detect things by hearing either, Josh. Obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
So yeah, and so the way they shot certain things, and then just like seeing how a family with a deaf person would communicate with or without aliens,
Right.
yeah, pretty cool. Something different. Um, yeah, and then the second one today, they just kind of like expanded the world a little bit, expanded the universe a little bit. I would not be surprised if like in 10 years there's like a Quiet Place comic book and then a Quiet Place novel and a Quiet
Oh,
Place
interesting.
like 3, 4, and 5. I don't know. It's
It's the new shared universe.
maybe I don't know.
So
Um,
and again, I haven't seen it, but you know what it reminds me of? Just the trailers and it, oh shoot, is it called Signs? The M. Night Shyamalan movie with Mel Gibson?
yeah, that's very similar. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, cool. Cool. Interesting.
Yeah. So this first movie in the theater since I think Birds of Prey that I saw. So
Birds of Prey. Good times. I just saw that again the other day. Like Birds of Prey.
Pretty
It's
good, huh?
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Back
Um,
in the old days, before the Empire,
before the Fire Nation attacked.
before the Fire Nation attack.
Um, cool. What else have you been watching?
Let's see. I said I was gonna watch For All Mankind season 2. So I watched season 2, and then I was like, "Holy crap! I don't remember a single thing about season 1." So then I watched season 1, and then I'm making my way through season 2 again. I saw Jupiter's Legacy, Quiet Place 2, Friends Reunion. Um, we should have your wife on to talk about the Friends Reunion. We could totally do an episode with your wife, though. It doesn't have to be about the Friends Reunion. It'd be about something that you
I
guys
mean,
watch together or something, if you
yeah,
want.
I'll probably just sit out. It's fine.
Just sit out. No, that's weird then.
That's not
I don't
weird.
know her at all.
It's just you guys are gonna be talking over my head, you know?
Well, no, something that all of us have seen, not Friends. But
Oh, something all of us have seen. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, sure. Yeah, we'll have a special guest.
be like, you can't input anything, Josh. You didn't watch the Friends reunion, okay?
Yeah, that's exactly how it would go if I
It's just
was on the
me and
call.
Naruni talking, okay?
Yeah,
Gosh,
exactly.
you go play with
Yeah,
Luke or something.
that's probably actually well, he's asleep at this time, but yes, it's
Go
probably
play
what
your
I do.
games then. Go play your Magic game then, Josh. Jeez.
I mean, it's going to be on my computer though, so I can't. But I can sort my cards for the thousandth time.
um. Okay. So I mean that was Star Wars Bad Batch episode 5. That's what we were watching. Oh, I didn't do my trending up, man.
No, yeah, do your because I did went straight from my what I was watching to my trending up, so that's why I
Okay.
didn't get a chance.
All right. My trending up is, and I had already written this down before you started talking about all this other stuff, but it's very relevant. Was Anya Taylor Joy.
Yep,
So yeah, she's I feel like I can't like turn a screen on without seeing her face nowadays. She just seems to be
it's
like she's
everywhere.
everywhere.
Yeah.
She was just on SNL. She was just on New Mutants. We are just talking about. Obviously, Queen's Gambit on Netflix.
Yep.
I just saw her on like another preview for something else today. Um,
He's in Peaky Blinders, which people love. Haven't seen it, but
yeah, she was in the last season of Peaky Blinders. She was great in that. She's kind of a hole in that, but that's the character. That's not her, obviously. Yeah, last
well, I
night in
think
Soho. That was
she
just,
seems to be a typecast though as a person who is a jerk.
um, is she always a jerk? Maybe.
I mean, I've seen her in Queen's Gambit and New Mutants, and I guess she was a nice person in Glass, actually, but kind of.
What do you mean, kind of? She was like the innocent, nice teenage girl.
That was your takeaway? Isn't no the what the point of
Not, or
not
okay,
not
hold on.
not
Not
Glass, but
split.
with Split. The whole point of Split was that deep down inside she has a dark personality, like whatever his name
It's
is,
not a
the
dark personality. It's that she was damaged.
Damage. Okay,
Not like him. Like it's because she was damaged. She was abused, right? That was her character.
she was a yes. So
So she's not a jerk. What are you talking about? It's the other girls that were jerks. That's why he killed them.
yes, the other girls were definitely jerks. Hmm. I don't know. I well wait. So okay, but so her flashback scene though is she's pointing the shotgun at her abuser. She doesn't shoot him. So like, and then at the end, like she turns him into the cops or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I this was not like said anywhere. My takeaway was that she like regretted it and she wished she had shot him.
Does that make you a jerk?
Um, no, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I like
yeah.
I don't I and then in Glass, I think in Glass she's like the nice person. She's trying to help. Um, but in Split, I felt like that because a lot of Kevin's personalities are bad, and they were trying to like mirror or pair those two together. So that's how I came out with that impression.
Wow. Okay. Uh, I'm gonna
But
have to
like I
disagree, but okay.
I didn't come out of watching Split thinking, oh, like she's the hero of the story. If that
Oh,
makes
okay.
sense.
Really? Okay. Well, okay. I didn't think. Well, I don't think that story had a hero per se. Felt like that was an origin story
Right.
for whatever his name was, for James McAvoy's character. But yeah, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's like an origin story. Hmm. No, oh, for sure there are no heroes, but uh, or maybe it's his psychiatrist. She was kind of a hero. She tried to be.
but I mean, she could be typecast. I haven't seen a lot of her other like. She was in that movie Emma. I think that movie's supposed to be funny. I didn't see her in that. There's a couple
Who
other things
knows?
on here I haven't seen. But yeah, she's gonna be playing the young version of Furiosa from the Mad Max movies. So that's probably gonna be fun. Plus, like, four of the things that are in the works. So yeah, trending up. Anya Taylor Joy.
Oh,
Um, and I guess that's the episode for this week.
all
Anything
right.
else you want to say, Josh?
Nope. We will see you next week.
All right, next week. Bye.